This video I'm going to do something a little different. We'll do a leg of lamb. Got this at Costco. Comes in a little net. Actually cut that off. I'll use some butcher twine to get this thing back together. But we'll season it up and smoke this thing for a couple hours and see how it turns out. So I'm just kind of grinding some of these seasonings together here for this. Using some fresh thyme. I'm going to use these sprigs to help apply some of this. I'm going to make like put some red wine vinegar and some oil with that. Apply that to it while it cooks. But I'm also going to put some on initially. I didn't get all fresh ingredients. I've also got some, a couple dried ingredients. Just rosemary, parsley, the fresh thyme. I'll do some salt and pepper just to taste. I'm not going to put that in here and grind it with this. It really just kind of just breaking this down. I said some of that was fresh, some of this is dried. I'll put a little garlic in there too. Just run it through this little garlic press. Put that in there. Got pretty good consistency here. Got that garlic in there. Alright, got it laid out here. Took that thing and came in a net. I cut that off. Kind of unfolded it, patted it dry. So I'm going to take this and season it both sides. And I'm going to tie it with a little bit of butcher's twine and put it in the fridge for just a little bit and get it on the smoker. So I'm going to take, I need this quantity right here. I'm not going to put my red wine vinegar and my olive oil in here with this. Mainly because I'm going to use some of that afterwards to put on this meat as it cooks. So right now all I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive oil on here. I typically don't use binders. We're going to put this on here. I'm going to salt and pepper separately. Turn this over, you can see the other side here. This is a boneless. Got this thing here, but I'm not going to worry too much. I'll leave that in there. Put a little bit more salt on it, probably a little bit more than I need, honestly, but we'll see. It's not a ton of fat on this, so we'll see how this goes. I've never cooked lamb before, so I did a little research, a little reading online. And at work, I work with a guy that's from the UK, so he's talked about lamb. I've tried it once before, but it's been years ago. So I wanted to try it. We'll put it on the smoker. Now, I also bought some lamb chops today, so there's going to be another video, and they're going to be done on the Weber kettle. This one's going to be on the smoker, but the lamb chops are going to be done direct heat. So I'm going to go ahead with some Diamond Crystal kosher salt. Don't want a ton on there. A little bit of coarse black pepper. We're not going to cake this on like I'm doing, some ribs or brisket or something. But I do like black pepper, so a little extra. Now these seasonings here, this concoction I made, put a little bit of this on here. I'll take my gloved hand and actually rub this in a little better. On the Costco packaging it says this is a product of Australia. So I read that you can get lamb that's made in America, and it's supposed to be not as gamey. They're raised here in America. I'm not sure what they do to it differently. But if you're going to do it, might as well do it right. So if this is a little more gamey than it's traditional, it's more what it should taste like, I guess. It's real popular in the UK and New Zealand, Australia, places like that from what I've read. Pretty much most places except like America. It's not very common here, but I'm not a very common person myself, so I like to try different things. Like I said, talking about this with the guy I work with, son, made me want to try it. And plus, this adds a little variety to the channel. I know Chud's Barbecue, he's done lamb, and he said that's some of his least popular videos. So we'll see what happens. I know I've got some viewers on here from the UK. I've seen in the analytics, so y'all don't hit me too hard if I don't do this quite right. So this is my first time. Roll this over and get the other side here. Maybe rub this instead of pat it. Seems to be doing a little better. Distributing some of this. I'm used to pat and a rub. But they call it a rub, not a pat, so we'll see what happens. It seems to work a lot better. And I didn't trim this at all. I checked out a couple of videos and things prior to doing this, and I didn't really see this being trimmed. So let me just kind of rub this in a little bit. Like I said, I'm not real sure how most people do this. I may season it a little heavier than you do, or it may not be as much. Put a little bit more since this is going to be the inside. Make sure I get some all in these crevices here. Alright, we'll tie this thing up. Alright, got this thing tied up. Ready to put it in the fridge. Let it sit in there for a little while. Now, I've never done anything that needed to be tied before, so may not be pretty, but it works. At least I hope it works. We're going to find out. Alright, been a little while. That roast sitting in the fridge. Still in there. Gonna get this thing started preheating. Let it go for about 20 minutes or so. Get that thing on out here. About ready. I'm gonna end up cooking this with mostly cherry. I got some oak chunks, a couple oak splits here, and got several cherry splits I'm gonna use. I'm supposed to take the bark off, but I ain't never had no issues with it. It ain't a whole lot, but I got a whole bag of cherry splits up there I'm gonna use once I get that meat on here in a few minutes. We got this, getting ready to put it on now. And I made this basically the same kind of rub, except I've added olive oil and red wine vinegar to it. And I'm gonna use these sprigs of thyme. I pulled this top rack out. It kind of impeded my access to this thing. Don't worry about that black stuff. That's just stuff fell off that top rack when I moved it. Funk. I cleaned the top of these off, but I'll take them out here shortly and clean the bottoms of them. But I don't cook on the bottoms of them, so it don't really matter that much, I guess. Just add a little bit more wood. Keep this thing good and moist here. I believe I already said this. Using predominantly cherry wood on this. It's a milder wood. Used a little bit of oak to get it going, but primarily using cherry on this. At about 115, 120 degrees right now. Planning on pulling this around 140. And then the internal temperature on the rest, probably take it about 143, 145. Be a good medium temperature. Something like that. Kind of what I'm shooting for. Kind of excited to try this thing. Made a chimichurri in the house. It's kind of similar to something like that, but a little different. I've got that made in there. I'll have with this. About 125 internal now. It's getting close. Just put another log in there. Got an oak on the right and a cherry split there on the left. Trying to keep the smoke flavor mild on this. It won't overpower the lamb. All right, we're finally done. Nice good dark color on that thing. Pull it off, get in there and let it rest a little bit. Get this thing ready here. Get these strings out of the way. I don't really care to eat those. Hit 4 of them. So. There we go. Oh yeah, good smoke ring. Still got that good juice in there. Very good, very good. Got some on the plate here, some chimichurri. It's really good. First time I've ever made it. So didn't dry out or anything. Got a good smoke ring, good flavor. Be doing this again. A lot of people say it's gamey. It tastes fine to me. I like it. So definitely try it if you've never tried lamb. In the next video, I'm gonna do some lamb chops.